Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is John with Flippin' Ain't Easy. And you saw the thumbnail. It's not clickbait, guys. I'm going to show you right here that my last 31 days, 70.7% increase in sales. And, we'll just go through all the sales for you the last few days just to show you that I'm not selling anything special. You guys can see right here that there's nothing crazy about it. I'm not selling iPhones. I'm not selling high-end electronics. I'm selling a lot of things that people need and can use. That's certainly part of the strategy, but not the three things. There's three things that I've done and I do with my business that can translate, I believe, can translate well over to other types of products. Now, do what you want with it. Again, I'm only here to report to you what works for me. I'm not here to tell you how to run your business because each and every one of us has a different aspect to our business. There's not two sellers that are the same. Different circumstances, different merchandise. Heck, I even know people who are in my town. I know one who's reached out to me here in Vegas, and I know exactly what they sell because they shared their store with me. And guess what? It's a lot of the same stuff that I sell. And we're not the same. We're still not the same. They have their own business model, right? They have their own outlook on things, and they have a different mindset. And that's kind of the main focus here. I'm going to tell you three things right now, but I want you to think about this. Whether you adopt anything that I say here, and don't do it unless it makes sense for you, but do change this. Change your mindset. Change how you look at your buyers, change how you interact with them, change how you think about returns, change how you think about the products that you're selling. Now, that's a broad statement. I know I'm not good. That's, I guess, yet for another video. I've made other videos talking about it, but I think many of us are kind of stuck in the old way of doing eBay. And what I'm trying to show you here is a way to just energize and charge your eBay business. And for me, again, this is what's worked for me. So if anyone says, hey, how is it that you had 70%? That's unheard of. 70.7% increase in sales. I can point to these three things. And maybe you have a different three things, but I'm going to share with you the three things that has really charged my business. Well, hello, Kylo. How you doing, buddy? What are you doing today, mister? Just hanging out while we work? You guys are always hanging out while we work. Number one. Let's start with number one. Free returns on most items. Now, I'm hovering about 300 items in my store. That doesn't seem like a whole lot. But if you consider, you saw the numbers. I mean, we are at record numbers. I mean, I haven't seen these kind of numbers since 2019 when I had about 200 AirPods, open box AirPods that we're just selling like for 125 bucks each, and they're selling like hotcakes, guys. And then, I had a $25,000 month because of that and some of the other things that I had in that lot. But I haven't seen numbers like this since. It's been solid, I guess, but nothing near that. Now, I guess if you guys check out the video that I put out, I'll put a link here. It'll kind of explain why I decided to give it a try. And it was a trial basis where I thought, okay, what's the worst thing that can happen? If I set free returns on most of my smaller items, what is the worst that can happen? And in theory, you could think, well, you'll increase your returns. But I beg to differ. Buyers return items for reasons, right? There's reasons why they return an item. Rarely is it because they're trying to take advantage of a free return policy. Now, that is a selling point, certainly, when they're buying it, and that helps your conversion rate. They feel comfortable. We talk about the word feel all the time. Buyers feel confident when you say free returns. Take two listings. One has free returns. The other one has no returns. Which one do you feel more confident in buying? And this is your buyer. So free returns have the impact at the time of sale more than anything else. If a buyer needs to return an item, they're going to find a way to return an item, regardless if you have a no returns policy. If they really want to return your item, they will. Trust me. Now, what does it do? You get 10%. If you're already top rated, you have, for that listing, you will be top rated plus, which means you'll get a 10% discount off of your base final value fees. That's not a whole lot individually, but if you start looking at all your listings and the number of items you sell a day over a month, it adds up. So that certainly is a benefit. But that aside, I do believe that this is the biggest factor in the spike of sales that I have encountered this last, it's now been 3 weeks, guys. My sales have been off the charts. And we're talking in the middle of summer or near the end of summer. We're talking, what, mid-July through the first part of August. And we are on fire. I mean, it's ridiculous. Jenna's putting in overtime, doing the labels and the shipping, and wow, it is insane. So I would say, though, if you're going to use free returns, be careful. If you have a heavy item, maybe it's just buyer pays for returns. You really don't want to be in the business of offering free returns for changed mind, which is a lot of returns. Changed mind, when maybe they buy it and they say, you know what, I don't want it. But now you're on the hook for that 30-pound item, which could be anywhere 30, 40, 50, 70, $80, depending on where you're sending this thing. And that would absolutely crush you on that item. Now, of course, again, people can lie their way into getting a free return, but my experience is those bad buyers who are dishonest about getting a free return and choosing INAD to get the free return label are in the minority. I mean, I don't want to put a number on it, but it's more honest people than not. The bottom line is eBay wants you to offer free returns. It gives, in their eyes, the best buyer experience. And it actually does. I mean, when a buyer doesn't have to worry about paying for a return label, it adds confidence. So I really do think it not only gives me a boost in the algorithm because I have free returns, but I am also getting a boost in my conversion rate because a buyer will look at my items and go, okay, this doesn't work for me. I can return it without any recourse. And I think that's huge, guys. It's the biggest one of the 3 tips I can tell you. All the magic happens with the shipping, big and small. There's a big one. That's a huge one. No free returns on that. And this is where it all happens, guys. This is the magic of your shipping department. Tip number 2, and that is stop being reactive, stop being passive, and start being proactive with your business. What does that mean? It's a very vague statement I just made. Think of it in terms of this. If you have watchers or you have an opportunity to send offers to watchers, why are we not sending them right away? Even if it's just one. I think some people, they allow the number of potential offers to watchers, they let that accumulate, and maybe they do it once in the morning, they do it once before they go to bed or before they turn in. And this needs to be a process you're doing throughout the day. Now, does that mean you need to be in front of your computer checking it all the time? No, that's not what it means. That means if you're looking at your overview page, which is pretty common for me, I'm always in my overview page to see how I'm doing. If I notice that there are opportunities to send offers to watchers, I'm on it. And what I do is I simply go in and do in a bulk offer. I do 11.11%. Those of you guys wonder, why do you do 11.11%? Because if I have, say, $59.99, it'll bring it down to, I believe, like $53.99. It retains the 99 cents on many, not all, but many of the prices. And I just, it's a little bit better discount than what I offer them with the coupon. And I'm not really so much trying to entice them to buy the item. It's more of gaming the system. But then again, if I'm doing this in a timely manner, the buyer, it just pops up on my screen that here's a potential offer to a watcher. That means that the buyer is currently shopping for this item. Why would I wait till tonight to do all of them at once when that buyer's probably already bought the item they're looking for. So yeah, I am trying to get their attention by, eBay will notify that buyer, here's an offer for you for the item that you're currently shopping for. But also, I know for a fact, and there's no written anything, but this has happened too often for it to be just a coincidence, that you do get a boost in the algorithm, in the search, get knocked up a little bit in search for that item if you're sending offers to people. And of course, if you send counter offers, if you get an offer from a buyer, if you have offers turned on, that also does it as well. But guys, being proactive is also reaching out to a buyer and letting them know that, hey, thank you for your purchase. We're going to mail this thing out tomorrow. It's something I've talked about before. Buyers absolutely appreciate it. It's going to buy you a little bit more patience than if you don't use that. And it's really cut down on my negative feedbacks. I've had a lot of negative feedbacks on my account over the last year, but knock on wood, virtually not really a whole lot over the last, I'd say 4 or 5 months since I've done this, where you're at the end of the day, you don't have to do it after every sale. It's ridiculous to do that. There's no purpose. But at the end of the day, you go in, you have a form message, maybe just 3 sentences, telling them, thank you for your purchase. We will mail this out tomorrow. I have same day shipping. So usually after 9 a.m., anything goes out that's been purchased goes out tomorrow. And then, there shouldn't be any issues with your purchase, but if you encounter any, please reach out to us so we can offer to help. I think that's huge, because a lot of people, they have this reaction to go ahead and open a return when you could have maybe solved their problem or maybe avoided a return or, clear up a misunderstanding about the item. So there's so many things that you can do, but those 2 things I think are huge as far as being proactive and not reactive. Don't wait for your buyer to communicate with you. Start communicating with your buyers. Selling is about communication. And the better you communicate, here we go again, here comes that word, the better you're going to make your buyers feel about doing business with you and buying from you, and maybe buying from you again. So guys, deliver the best experience you can, but a lot of it comes with being proactive within the things you do within your business. You guys want a treat? Here, just have a treat. Want a treat? Get your treat, buddy. Now you have that bacon. Come on, buddy. Now look at this guy. He investigates. He's not sure. There you go, buddy. And he'll go and hold on to it. Oh, he'll inspect it, right? Maybe hold on to it so the other dog doesn't get it. He's kind of crazy. He's actually eating it this time, but they are definitely characters, that's for sure. Step number 3, you ready? This is going to be the most controversial step or a tip that I can give you in what I do that maybe separates me from a lot of my competition. And that is the market, guys. So you're selling an item. You're selling this item. The market for this item, the sold comps, is generally what the market is for this item. Okay. And you've noticed in sold comps, this thing might have gone for 30 bucks. It might have gone for 40 bucks. I don't know what these Milwaukee ones go for, but that's just a guideline, guys. It's just a guideline. It's what someone was willing to pay that seller for that item. Now, it gives us a good starting point. I think there's nothing wrong with looking at the sold comps. If you find a couple that are priced on the higher side that have sold, if your item meets that condition, by all means, start it there, right? Also, utilize your coupons and markdown sales to where it maybe brings the price down into that market. So when I say market, I mean what the sold comps show, the average price. Someone would say the mean price. And so you have 10 items that have sold. They average about, maybe for this thing, 25 bucks. So you kind of want to be starting your price somewhere in that. Now you also got to keep in mind, are you offering free shipping? Were those sales free shipping? How much is shipping going to cost you or the buyer, if you're calculating it? If you're doing free shipping, how much is that going to take out of your profit. So you really have to consider these things when you're actually pricing your item. But that's just the guideline. That doesn't mean that this is where a lot of sellers get stuck. They think, well, it sold for 10 other people over the last 90 days. It's got to sell for me, and therefore I'm not going to budge. I'm going to sit at the highest, whatever sold comp that there is, and this is my price. And by God, I'm not going to sell it. All the while, there's others that are selling, and yours isn't. Guys, what I do is every 30 days, I do an end item sell similar process. You guys know that, where I don't allow eBay to recycle the listing and use a listing. It doesn't really do anything but tell the algorithm that I have an old item if I allow eBay to recycle it. So I get involved, I get proactive, and I do an end item and sell similar before that item ends its 30-day run. And in doing so, I add offers. So I don't, for the first 30 days, have offers on an item because I do want that item to sell within the market if it's possible. But after 30 days, I don't want these items here very much longer than that. Yes, I do have items that have been here for months, despite all my efforts. And we have other ways to move the merchandise that we can talk about in another video. But as far as utilizing the market, I have offers set for those items now after the first 30 days. If I have an $80 item, I'm into it for $10. Someone comes at me and says, hey, I'll offer you $50 plus shipping. Chances are I'm going to take it. And I don't care what the market has to say about the item. It's all about what am I into the item for? Can I make a profit after eBay takes their share, after my cost is absorbed, and all the other costs that go along with conducting the sale, with supplies, and maybe you have to buy a box for it or whatever. Am I going to make money off of this? And so you do need to kind of be in tune with a little bit of math, right? If that buyer comes at me and says, hey, will you take 20 and I'm into it for 10 plus shipping, well, actually 20 plus shipping, I'm into it for 10, you better believe that I'm going to have been sitting on that item for a very, very long time before I decide to give up on it for such a low price. We get so mad at people that are low ballers. And you might say, well, John, all you're doing is encouraging these low ballers. I'm running a business, and I do not. And I know I've received emails from people saying, how can you sell this item for that low? Because it's not about the market for me, guys. And I'm not about trying to change markets either. I'm trying to move merchandise. And it's about changing your mindset on how you look at some of the stuff you're selling. We're selling this stuff so we can earn money, right? And it may be a little disappointing. Yeah, you know what? I'm only going to get $50 out of this. I've seen sold comps that have gone for about $80 on average, but I've sat on this long enough. Really not sure why I'm not able to sell it, but I have an opportunity now, and I can learn from this. Do I buy it again? Maybe you don't buy it again. Maybe you buy something else, or maybe you temper your expectations on that item for the next time. So it's very controversial. I'm gonna get a lot of people saying, I'm not gonna go and settle for these low ball offers. And I'm not telling you to. I'm telling you to make the best informed decision about the things that you're selling. And in my opinion, it is absolutely okay to use the market as a guideline, but not set in stone, and work with whoever comes your way offering you maybe less than you would like, but an opportunity to make some money. And I can't tell you, how many sales that have come to me where it's not desirable, but you know what? I'm like, let's take a look at what I'm into the item for. And you know what? I can do that because I can take that money now, flip it into 3 or 4 more items just like it if I wanted to buy more of those things. And I'm going to just churn. And I've made another video about churning, guys. We do have a process, a mindset where this stuff doesn't mean anything to me. And if you're a reseller, unless you really want to just keep the items, maybe you're not really a true reseller. Maybe you just want to keep them for yourselves, or you're like, if I can't get the price that I want, I'd rather just keep it myself. Then, this message really isn't for you. But for the rest of us who really don't care about all this stuff, they just want it gone. Well, maybe it's time to change your mindset. And those are 3 things, guys. Free returns on I would say anything under 10 pounds. Being proactive, not reactive in your business. Get out in front of it. Communicate with your buyers. Embrace the communication with your buyers, and they will remember you and appreciate you for it. And number 3, the most controversial one, is the market is only a guideline. It is not a set in stone price that you have to settle and sell that item for. And items sitting on your racks long term, they do take up space. They do take up other space for other inventory that maybe can use the space. So it's a business decision that you have to make there. But for me, it's been a game changer. So guys, I want to know what you think of the 3 tips that I've given you here. Where am I right? Where am I wrong? Let me know down below. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel, guys. I think only like 35% of the people watching these videos, and that's just not my channel, it's pretty much all over the place, but 35% of you are subscribed. Thank you very much. But the other 65%, they don't subscribe. But if you subscribe, eBay is going to let you know when I make that next video, and that next video might, just might, provide some useful information. So guys, I want you to have an excellent rest of your day, and we will talk to you here very soon. Take care.
The live streams on Mondays and Fridays. Join the Discord community for the parlays. Tune into the podcast. Profit Playbook's the name. With Scott and Josh, flipping's more than a game. Mistakes. Learn from them and you'll have what it takes. In the world of reselling, will you guide? With flipping ain't easy by yourself. Catch the live streams on Mondays and Fridays. Join the Discord community for the parlays. Tune into the podcast. Profit Playbook's the name. With Scott and Josh, flipping's more than a